Hello, this is Fred Merlo, Senior Partner at Totally Trim Tea, and today I'm speaking with Dr. Marisa Marciano, who is a naturopathic doctor and professor of herbal medicine. Dr. Marisa is also the creator of the Totally Trim Herbal Weight Loss Tea. Dr. Marisa, welcome. How are you today?
Thank you, Fred. I'm doing great. Really, really good from Vancouver. Yes.
Wonderful. Marisa, would you kindly tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
For sure. I'm a naturopathic doctor and I practice in Vancouver, BC. So I do see patients out of my office here. I'm also a professor of botanical medicine and nutrition in Vancouver as well at the Naturopathic College and at the Institute of Holistic Nutrition here in Vancouver. Since, in my practice, I've focused on herbs and nutrition. So those are areas that I concentrate on with my patients, and I've also am the creator of the free online herbal resource, the naturopathicherbalist.com, which is available for anyone who'd like to continue to learn more about herbal medicine. That's a resource that I've created there. And I love to do yoga, and I love my cat, and I love being outside and in nature. And I am also, of course, the creator of the formula behind the Totally Trim Tea program.
Wonderful. That's quite a mouthful in all that. And we've seen your cat in action. It's quite a nice pet you've got there. Today's topic for our viewers is on wellness and weight loss, and we will be discussing what we call today's five milestones people will encounter to achieve a healthy body weight. Now, these milestones, and there are more than five, will in effect become a weight loss roadmap which you can follow to achieve your weight loss goals. It is our desire to equip you with the knowledge to cover those milestones and live a healthier and happier life. So, starting off with the first milestone, Dr. Brissa, setting
Mhm.
unrealistic expectations. What are your thoughts? A lot of people, especially after they've watched TV shows like The Biggest Loser, expect to lose a lot of weight. What are
Mhm.
your thoughts there?
Yes. Weight loss, I always tell my patients who come to me for weight loss, it is to achieve sustainable, healthy weight loss. The goal should really be about 1 to 2 pounds a week. A lot of these shows and programs and different, diet fads will promise, 1 to 2 pounds a day in some cases. And I really try to caution people away from setting those types of expectations simply because they're not sustainable. You might be able to drop those pounds very quickly on some extreme type of diet and program. However, the weight comes right back, which, as I'm sure most people have experienced and on their own when trying these things, that is the case. Um, I try to be very in our first appointment with a person. I try to together have us be very clear as to what their expectations really are, and we set realistic goals to reach throughout the length of a program. It also very much depends on the individual, how much weight they have to lose, their health status, as they're beginning a weight loss program. So obviously, if someone has, you know, 50 pounds to lose, or they just want to lose that last little 5 pounds, it can be slightly different. And I also like to get people very clear on what their commitment is going to be to this program. What are their specific goals that they want to achieve? Is it just a drop in, the number on the scale, or do they want to see other health benefits occur? What would they like to see occur? So yeah, really just getting clear on your motivators for achieving a weight loss, and then making sure we set really clear, defined, expectations about what that will look like for the person.
Okay, and of course, the bathroom scales aren't the only indicator of losing weight or losing size, though, is it? I,
They're
I
very No, they're very deceiving, and I don't encourage patients to weigh themselves daily at all when on a weight loss program. We do follow up is very important, of course, and you do want to track your progress and have those sort of objective measures in place. But when you start to lose weight, and I see this when people they come in expecting to lose large amounts of weight quickly, and then they step on the scale after a week and it hasn't budged, or maybe it's budged just a little bit. But they also report feeling more energetic, they're sleeping better, maybe their clothes are fitting a little differently. So there still are lots of positive changes occurring. It's so much more than just the number on the scale.
That's right, and I'd like to share what's happened to my wife, who is trying to lose weight and has done so successfully. When she first started on her current, I would say her current weight loss program, but what she's currently doing right now. And for the first 2 weeks of using the Totally Trim weight loss tea, she didn't really see much change in the scales because she was watching the scales. However, she did report feeling a lot better, a lot more energetic, and as she put it, her sugar cravings had almost gone. And the following weeks, however, is when things started to happen for her. And I can certainly notice it in her shape. So, yes, it does take a bit of time, and the scales aren't the only indicator. Yeah.
Definitely not, yeah.
Yeah. Now, our second milestone that we're moving on to now is lack of knowledge of which foods to eat, how to exercise, and I guess what causes weight gain. Could you briefly touch on some of those, Marisa?
Absolutely. So I think, partially the media is to blame for the amount of information out there that can really vary in terms of what is the best way to lose weight, what are the foods you should be eating, how much exercise should you be getting. And again, if you're looking at quick, drastic drops in weight, then most of those diets are going to recommend extreme calorie restriction, extreme amounts of exercise, which don't always work, I'm sure, as some people have noticed. But I think part of my job as a naturopathic doctor is educating people on the healthy ways to eat the best foods for them, and that won't be the same for every person. But there are some key, like just fundamental nutrition basics that once those are in place, I don't even like to call the diet. I don't like using the word diet, basically. So I would much prefer people just their diet is whichever diet is best for them. It's not the Atkins diet or the paleo diet, or it's just a diet that is full of whole foods, staying away from a lot of packaged foods, for example, and really changing the person's really taste and what they want from foods themselves is really, again, the best way to lose weight is to focus on eating all of the foods that we know intuitively are good for us. So whole foods, plant-based foods, high quality protein, high quality fats, including more fiber into our diet. It's also very important. And this could be another discussion, another interview, another video in the future, just talking about the specifics of what to do. And I have in the weight loss program that's provided with the tea outlined some of these things in a little bit more detail. But so I think it's much more about the quality of the food that you're eating as opposed to even the quantity. So I really also like to caution people against calorie restriction. I think that's something that we're seeing now even in the scientific literature and research that's coming out, is that calorie counting does not equal weight loss. In fact, it can cause hormonal chaos, and most people, understandably, don't have the knowledge of these complex hormonal and metabolic and physiological pathways that are all being greatly affected when we restrict our calorie intake. So that's just a little bit about, choosing the best foods to eat. It will be a little bit different for everybody, but I don't think that less is more in this case. I encourage people to eat, small, frequent meals, and, really listen to their hunger signals. But that, food, necessarily just the amount of calories we get, does not equal the amount of weight we gain. It's the quality of those calories.
Okay,
Yeah, and
sorry
no,
you,
no.
you do mention a lot of those foods in your personalised weight loss program, which you have provided for us, for our viewers, in a PDF form, which is at the bottom of this video. Also, with regard to the hormones, we will be doing another interview purely on that for our viewers. So just stay tuned for that one too.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Okay. Uh,
Yes.
moving on to our next milestone, and that is slow metabolism. Dr. Marisa, what is metabolism?
Metabolism. So the metabolism, whether you have a high or a low metabolism, it basically means how fast or quickly are your body's cells working? Are they producing energy? Are they storing energy? Or are they using that energy? And so food, of course, is energy. So many factors will affect our metabolism. So the type of foods that you're consuming, and then, of course, various hormones will also affect our metabolism as well. And just to sort of bring in a little bit about the tea itself, I just want to go back to when we were talking about foods and diet, that the herbs that are in this tea are to think of herbs as foods, which really they are. They're concentrated forms of foods. And so they have direct effects on our body's metabolism. They can help to regulate blood sugar levels the same way fiber can, for example. They can stimulate the fires of your metabolism, the hormones that will help increase the breakdown of fats and the use of energy in our bodies. So that's also very important. And again, we'll do another podcast talking about the specifics of the hormones involved in this, but most people I'm sure have heard of things like thyroid. So low thyroid function can greatly contribute to weight gains. Hormones like cortisol and insulin as well, and of course leptin, which is a very important topic, a hormone that regulates hunger signals and the storage of fat. So all of these factors will influence your body's metabolism, and a slower metabolism, which some people will have based on various reasons, can greatly affect one's ability to lose weight effectively. Mhm.
Okay. Once again, that topic on hormones is too much to include in this video. So we will do a
Yeah.
more in-depth discussion on that in another time. Moving on to our next milestone, and lack of time to exercise or prepare healthy meals is another common barrier, particularly for women. According to a study which is published in the International Journal of Behavioural Nutrition and Physical Activity, they were saying that women who are trying to lose weight are often at the same time changing their home location, commencing a new career, or in the process of dating or getting married, and also becoming mums. So what do you say to that?
Yes, so I absolutely relate to this inability to feel like there's just not enough hours in the day. Um, Again, I try to shift people's perspective on making that time. And I think when we think about wanting to lose weight, it seems like this huge, daunting task that's going to take all of this time and commitment, and we've got to be at the gym for 2 hours a day, and meal planning, for incessantly. And I don't believe that needs to be the case. There's lots of little ways that we can introduce healthy habits into our life to again have that slow but progressive ability to lose weight over time. So little things. The one thing I really try to get people to do is just reevaluate what your leisure time is. So when we say, oh, I don't have enough time, but maybe you're spending that time, just vegging out on the couch watching TV. Or maybe, that time could be spent preparing foods, or, getting your children involved in the making of food, doing little things throughout your day. I really encourage people, if you work in an office, for example, where you sit at a desk all day, on your lunch hour, do you just sit at your desk and cram in your lunch, or can you take 15 minutes and just do a little walk around the building or around the block? On your way to work, a commute, say, that you take every day, is there somewhere that you could park your car a little further away and just get in another 15, 20-minute walk to the office? Taking the stairs, those simple things that we can, again, the more that you can integrate those small changes over time is really when you see the payoff. So it's not about, making huge spaces to do all of this stuff. It's about trying to realistically incorporate more healthy habits and lifestyle changes on a daily basis. And I just want to bring up exercise, going back to even the process of metabolism and the importance of exercise. I want to stress that for fat loss specifically, exercise should be of a really mild to moderate level and really doesn't need to be for great periods of time. So, like 30 minutes a few times a week, every day, ideally, but a minimum of 30 up to 60 minutes of mild exercise, meaning that you're not running all out on the treadmill, but you're just taking taking a walk around the block. You're elevating your heart rate slightly, maybe getting a little bit of a sweat, but that's really all that you need. And so it's very easy to fit that in to your life. I would say, again, morning and end commute at the end of your work days, and then making the very most of those days off to do really active outdoor things. In Vancouver, we're very lucky, and in Australia, I'm sure it's the same. But there, we have a lot of beautiful outdoor areas just to play in, and keeping that biking as well as a great way to get a little bit more exercise into your day if you're able to bike to work. So it's about, yeah, fitting in what works into your day, and then again, as we exercise more and as we add a little bit more muscle mass to our body, muscle is a far more metabolically active tissue than fat. So the more muscle mass, lean muscle mass that we create within our bodies, the faster your metabolism will be able to break down the foods that you're consuming. Yeah. And then I also, just in terms of lack of time, one really easy thing to do that you can do while you're lying in bed at night, and it does have effects, even though it seems a little out there, is just visualizations. So visualizing your health goals, your weight loss goals, what does that look like and feel like for you? A very easy way to just another layer to add on to all of the other potential changes you can make in your life. And then with making the teas, so, that I think some people are maybe not the most inclined to make a cup of tea. Some people love it, but what I love about using teas. There's such an easy way to incorporate the power of herbs into our life, and they slow you down a little bit, which is something I think that we all need to some extent in our culture. We're all racing to the next thing, and to be able to just create, 10, 15 minutes in your day where you're slowing yourself down to consume that cup of tea, to do something that's really beneficial to your body, is just invaluable.
Wonderful. And I guess too, for us here in Australia, a lot of people do like to take their dog for a walk. So that usually
Yes.
takes 30 minutes or more. So
Yes.
I think especially with my mother-in-law, dare I say it, she does do that quite a bit. Oh,
Definitely.
okay.
Yeah.
Moving on to our final milestone for today, and by no means the last. There are others, but for today, the cost of trying to lose weight, such as for some people, drastic weight loss surgery, or buying replacement meals, or even gym memberships. But Dr. Marisa, could you just touch on each of those, beginning with the weight loss surgery? Have you had much to do with that, or been involved in patients who have discussed that with you?
No, to be honest, Fred, I haven't that much. I mean, that's a pretty, in Canada at least, to qualify for that surgery, you need to be quite obese. The majority of patients I see are those that have not quite reached that point yet. And, people electing for that surgery are rare, because it is a very serious surgery
Okay.
to have performed. So that isn't something that I see a ton of. It is, yeah, I mean, it could be elective. I'm sure I would, if I had a patient that was considering it as an option, I would for sure be, trying to counsel them as much as we could to do everything we possibly can through diet, nutrition, and healthy life living to postpone that as long as possible. However, I realize for some people it is, especially for those that are quite obese, uh, uh, you know, um, an option. There are, again, serious side effects that come with that too, literally shrinking the stomach. And I should say, people who do get that surgery done, it does not in any way affect their inability to gain weight into the future. If they continue to eat the way that they did before they had the surgery, they'll very quickly gain all that weight back.
Okay.
Again, it just comes back to learning how to eat the best way for your body and to give your body what it needs, what it that get that nourishment that it needs outside of just food,
Okay.
essentially.
What about replacement meals?
Yes. Again, for some people those work. They're not my favorite. A lot of the replacement meals are full of processed junk that I wouldn't recommend my patients to be eating anyway, and they are very expensive. I generally, a meal replacement, shakes and now and again a protein shake is fine, but I always want to encourage people to just be using foods and herbs as their main form of energy. And, for a short period of time, but perhaps, but it's nothing that I would recommend long term. Meal replacements, things like Boost and Ensure, I'm not sure if that's something that you'd have in Australia perhaps, but those are usually full of sugar. And, we can talk way more, a lot more about sugar in the future, but sugar is for sure the largest culprit in terms of insulin resistance, leptin resistance, and the body storing energy as fat. So I really try to get people to avoid those as I would ask them to avoid other processed and packaged foods as much as possible.
Okay. Now I do know with gym membership, having experienced that, the trouble is that you've got to go. I mean, you can pay the
Yeah.
membership fee, but unless you make use of it, it's wasted money really. So not that's not
Yeah.
saying that they don't have their place, and I'm sure that a lot of people who make use of gyms have seen the benefits of that. Okay.
Of course. Gyms are great. They're not for everyone. I went through a period in my life where I loved the gym and I went all of the time. But nowadays, I prefer not. I prefer to get my activity from things like biking or yoga or going for a walk outside. I really try to encourage people as well to I encourage the idea of activity over exercise. So activity being something you enjoy. So if you enjoy the gym and then you'll keep doing it. And so for that reason, that could be a great way for you to add more, activity into your lifestyle. But if you really hate going there and it feels like a slog to get your shoes on and to drive and to do the whole thing at the gym, then you're not going to keep going. You're not going to maintain it. So, what is the activity that that brings you joy? That's the best way to get your exercise. And so, like I said, for me, it's just going for a power walk with some good music or doing a dance class. There's lots of other ways that we can feel fulfilled from the activities we're doing, and that will encourage that we continue to do them.
Great. Look, I don't think there's much more I can add to that, Dr. Marissa. You've covered that quite well. And so we complete today's 5 milestones. What people need to do now, though, for moving forward, is to action the following 3 steps. Now, first of all, if needed, you should review this video so you understand the milestones. Next, if you would download Dr. Marissa's personal weight loss program from the link just below this video, and then you can go to the Totally Trim Tea website from the link below again, where you can purchase the weight loss and gentle cleanse tea and also make use of all the free articles, information on the weight loss and health that you'll find there. Furthermore, for more information and support, if you like our Facebook page at facebook.com Totally Trim Tea, you'll find even more support there. In closing, be sure to keep an eye on your inbox, as we will be providing more information on milestones for your weight loss roadmap. Until next time, this is Fred Merlot and Dr. Marisa Marciano wishing you all the best for good health. Bye for now.
Bye bye.